yes, we're back with another video. Y'all, you guys wanted my opinion on ABD, Anime Goes Deep, on this Saitama's new power-up against Goku. So we all know that this has been an ongoing argument for almost a decade now. 3 years is going to be a decade. 2015, Saitama came on the scene. Oh, he could beat Goku because he could end people in one hit. No, that's not how this works. So I want to see what ABD have to say about this, and we'll see how it matches up. Of course, as a fan of both shows, right? You can't have subpar feats and then think, oh yeah, this is enough to beat this character. That's not how it works. It don't work that way. All right, it really doesn't work that way. But let's see what he has to say. And if you like more videos like this, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Let's check it out.
Saitama has exceeded his limits, growing beyond his previous power to something new.
Now, I thought you said that he doesn't have limits. So how did he break his limits if he doesn't have limits? I'm replying to all the fans, the Saitama fanboys, who keep saying, oh, he doesn't have a limit, he doesn't have a limit. But then he broke his limit again to get stronger, to fight Garo. So, I mean, I guess. Because he had to use more power to fight Garo. He couldn't end him in the head. Even if he wasn't trying to kill him, you could still put up a fight. You don't have to kill your opponents. Look how many people fought somebody and did not kill them. But, I digress.
How, may you ask? By sneezing and farting.
Stop the cap.
No, I am being serious, no cap here, ladies and gentlemen. Saitama's sneeze can kill every anime character you can think of. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1.
He's not beating Goku! He's not beating Goku!
That's a fact, he's not.
Okay, that's a question we're going to answer, but we will leave the conclusion up to you in the comment section below once you complete our analysis from part 1 and this video. You heard that?
Here we go. Let's see.
This is part 2. In part 1, we scaled Saitama's power from chapter 167 if you haven't already watched it. If you haven't, then that means that you are the silliest of willies. You're just not a Chad like the rest of the people that have the notification bell. And so, how did Saitama gain limitless power? What does the One Punch Man manga define it as? Well, an important thing to remember is that his limitlessness is in everything. Every category that equates to someone's power. For example, limitless strength, limitless defense, limitless speed, and, except for limitless intelligence. I mean, Saitama clearly doesn't have a limitless intelligence, you don't need me to tell you that. Oh, and there's also gaming. I mean, remember this?
K.O.
Oh, I can't do this anymore. It's time to play Space Sleepers.
You're goddamn right.
One of the most appealing aspects.
Alright, skip through this.
A tiger level threat, which is the equivalent of being a B-class hero already. I mean, Saitama had something like a 9-foot high jump. For some perspective, the world record is 8'1¼ inches. Saitama cleared Crabalente's height, which is stated to be 8'2 inches. So at the lowest possible measure of this feat, pre-training Saitama would be slightly better than the best modern human to ever do it. On top of that, in the One Punch Man audiobooks, which are approved by One, the creator of this series, pre-training Saitama was also completely unharmed and couldn't even be moved by Tatsumaki's psychic power. Bearing in mind, this is way before the events that occurred in the webcomic that we mentioned in part 1 of this series. So even that early on, Saitama was pretty damn strong. Saitama exponentially grows his base level through fighting whilst it is still ongoing.
He gets stronger based off how strong his opponents are. Simple. And then overcomes him over time, right? Who does that sound like? That sounds like Goku. That sounds like Broly. That sounds like Vegeta. That sounds like Gohan. Especially Gohan and Broly. Especially Goku. It sounds like those three characters. But this is to a lower degree. Because his main feats was the sneeze, him farting, from Jupiter to Earth, right? But, that's still, for me, pales in comparison. He could breathe in space. He doesn't, when he's mad, he doesn't care about the law of physics. He's not supposed to be breathing in space, but he could breathe in space. So, my thing is this: Goku was teleporting throughout the galaxy. He was faster than anything in this, webcomic and show. Teleporting when he was fighting guys, teleporting throughout the entire galaxy. So I'm like, you went from Jupiter back to Earth, right? So, and then on top of that, it's not like he flew from Io, Jupiter's moon, to Earth. He did it. All he did was hop on Garo's back to teleport there. So it's like that feat is kind of watered down. If he himself did it, then sure, right? If he would have said doop doop, sure. But I mean, it's still not a feat that we should really, talk about. Hey, no, we could talk about it, but it's more like, well, you didn't really do much. You had help. Now, if he was farting out throughout the entire universe, I'm like, okay, speed feat different. That's a crazy speed feat. I could put that in the jar, but you farted to Garo to teleport back to Earth. So it's kind of watered down. Not to hate, but that's just what it is. And people hate when I specify facts, bro. They hate it. I don't understand why.
With every opponent he faced in the past, he was growing stronger. And
this adds to my point that every opponent that he's fought, he one-shotted. But with Garo, and he was not trying when he was fighting these opponents, the Sea King, the Bulk Monster, the Titan. He ended them in one hit while not trying. But was getting stronger while fighting Garo. Let that sink in.
Cosmic Garo is the first opponent that can take multiple serious punches.
I disagree. Because he wasn't the first. It was Boros. Boros was the first to take multiple hits and regenerate. Garo being the second.
Without dying, fulfilling his dream. Saitama's exponential growth activates due to his limitless power. Therefore, every single punch once.
So, if he's let's go back. Hold on.
Serious punches without dying, fulfilling his dream. Saitama's exponential growth activates due to his limitless power.
So wouldn't that mean that he was hitting a limit and then just started using more powers, like more of his power? Or it was just that he wasn't trying, but he started using more of his power that he didn't know that he had? Because if that's the case, it looks like that's the same thing if you're trying to compare him to Goku or Vegeta or Gohan or Broly. It's the same exact thing. They keep saying they're using their full power, but then they have more power behind them, right? And it was a comment. Again, there was a comment on one of my videos when I was reacting to, Saitama was just, he didn't use all his power. Even if he said he's using full power, he wasn't using his full power because he still has more power because he's limitless. So if we're using that logic, isn't that the same thing with Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Gohan? Even if they say, oh yeah, this is my full power, but then they keep fighting, they get stronger.
Therefore, every single punch, once the battle started, was becoming stronger and stronger. Saitama was feeling an emotion in conjunction with this growth. Genos had died, which made him angry, sad, and feeling something he'd never really felt.
Oh, he got his Zenkai boost
before. Garo incited this because his plan was to copy Saitama's limitless power an infinite amount of times to eventually beat it. He claims that he is hitting Saitama with serious punches with the same amount of power that he was utilizing on Earth. But Saitama grows more and more to the point where an opponent simply can't keep up, because his power will multiply a number of times over what the opponent is dishing out to him. So even though Garou was copying his power level each and every time, it was useless, because Saitama's next punch was always going to be something higher. His speed and defense scales like this as well. That's why he's never really taken any damage or even bled before. Theoretically, what this means is that if Saitama faced an opponent that can keep tanking his limitless power, for example if an opponent existed that could tank a serious punch that scaled to the highest it's ever been in One Punch Man at the end of chapter 168, it wouldn't actually matter, because the longer the fight goes on, the stronger Saitama will become, as he will just keep adapting to the new power level that is needed for him to attain victory. And so
he sounds like a Broly.
Oh, let's talk about the serious sneeze for a moment. Saitama's sneeze alone can kill every single person on Earth.
Yeah.
Just take a look at this picture just to understand the scale of Saitama's sneeze. Earth is that small in comparison to Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge planet. In fact, it has a mass 2.5 times greater than the sum of all.
Got like 80 billion types of gases on that planet, and it's thick.
All the planets in our solar system. Which begs the question, how much power did Saitama's sneeze result in? Well, it would require around 2 trillion joules of energy. You heard that right. Now, although numbers of such magnitude are impossible to put into perspective, I will try. You would need a measly 225 million trillion joules of energy to blow up the Earth. Therefore, with the amount of energy created by Saitama's sneeze alone, he could destroy 90 planet Earths in one. Saitama's serious sneeze produced enough air pressure to completely remove Jupiter's atmosphere from its core.
This doesn't look like completely. This looks like part of it. Like half. Like, I hate when people use certain words, like completely. Does this look like complete to you? There's like a other half of this, but this is still impressive. This is still impressive. But when you use words like, oh, completely get rid, no, half of the pressure from his sneeze did this, which is crazy, by the way. But again, very well, people could wipe out the solar system easily, like Cell could wipe it out. Easily, every single planet, including the star, the solar system would be gone. And it's not like our solar system is big. Our solar system is like, all right, it's calm. It's not like a major solar system within our own universe, within our own galaxy. It's not the biggest. So it's like, well, and again, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that, like, from this point, that's amazing. It's good. It's a good feat. From a sneeze alone, it's a good feat.
Jupiter is composed of gaseous and liquid matter, which is divided between a gaseous outer atmosphere and a denser interior. And all of that was just wiped away. To produce this much power with a sneeze would mean that Saitama's lung capacity must be ridiculous, as according to livescience.com, a sneeze output is determined by the pressure in the respiratory system and the capacity of one's lung. A lung capacity this great would allow Saitama to swim to the bottom of the ocean and back up again in one breath. But this is also a testament to Saitama's durability of his body and internal organs, as a sneeze with this much force would break the ribs along with everybody's bones in a normal person. Therefore, Saitama has limitless stamina. That's why when he's in space, it doesn't even matter. Referring back to the timing in Boros where he thought he couldn't breathe on the moon, he actually doesn't need to. This then moves us on to Saitama's fart. I'd never thought I'd be saying that in a power scaling video. Saitama's fart, similar to his sneeze, represents the durability of his internal organs and its ability to produce pressurized gas. We can actually attempt to calculate the force of Saitama's fart because Saitama weighs 160 pounds on Earth, where according to the universal law of gravity, in space he should weigh around 142 pounds. We know that Saitama travelled faster than the speed of the rays of light that came from the sun, travelling at the speed of 186,282 miles per second. So the momentum would be P equals mv, where P is momentum, m is mass, and v is velocity, giving Saitama the momentum of 26,412 kilogram meter per second. To put this into perspective, one of the most widely used handguns, the Beretta M9, 2 kilogram meters per second. This means that Saitama's farts give off a momentum nearly 10,000 times that of a bullet. In terms of speed, well, I mean, we already explained that in part 1.
Now that we have scaled Saitama's serious fart and serious sneeze, I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth. Let's take this further and beyond by scaling his feat with the sun. The sun is so massive that it makes up 99.8% of the mass of our solar system. To put this into perspective, you could fit nearly 1 million Earths inside of it. The temperature at the sun's core is also about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. Most of the chemicals that make up our body won't even be able to live at this temperature. We would simply burn, melt, evaporate, and pass away, disintegrating as if we've never existed. The sun's activity, from its powerful eruptions to the steady stream of charged particles it sends out, influences the nature of space throughout the solar system. But despite all of that, Saitama can survive a head-on collision with the sun without even the slightest burn on his body. Because of this, it means he is 100% completely immune to radiation poisoning, fire, lava, absolutely any kind of physics. Considering how he can see and is just fine despite taking a quick little stop on the surface of the sun. Whilst us, ordinary people, can't even stare at the sun from Earth for longer than 100 seconds without causing permanent retinal damage. Of course, this all helps Saitama in battle because remember, thanks to his limitlessness, he doesn't lose his sense of direction at all, whilst Garo did and failed multiple times to know where he is during their battle on Io after Saitama completely ripped it apart. Saitama is limitless in balance, eyesight, immunity, anything that you can name. This brings us to the
They're making really good arguments.
reverse causality zero punch. A lot of you are scratching your heads thinking, bruh, this is the first time I heard of this term and I need Anime Balls Deep to use their degree in anime bullshit science to explain this to me. Basically, Garo taught Saitama the ultimate technique of his fist that he had envisioned after stealing strength from God. Garo gained knowledge about the ways energy flows throughout the universe and how different types of forces react to any form of stimuli, becoming one with the cosmos. However, despite his cosmic growth, Garo was still unable to execute this supreme skill of time travel. He knew that Saitama was the only one who could perfect his God-given skill without his assistance. So as Garo performed this ultimate technique, Saitama copied his every move. This ultimate technique resulted in Saitama imagining his own inner universe and utilizing his own cosmic rays to generate pairs of particles and antiparticles. With extreme focus, Saitama was able to force these particles to move and imitate their pairs in opposite directions. Once all of Saitama's subatomic particles had done this, he was able to travel back in time. time. This type of time travel is due to the idea that subatomic particles do not have a direction in time, and according to live science, if they are set in a certain way, they can go in either direction of time, being forward or backwards. Saitama illustrated he was able to do this, showcasing his ability to copy limitlessly and perfect techniques that aren't possible to do due to theoretical limitations. After Saitama was able to pick the moment of time to interact with, he landed a punch which instantly knocked out Cosmic Fear Garo in his early stages. This punch wasn't even his serious series, by the way, rather it was just a normal one, which means Saitama's exponential growth in their battle on Jupiter's moon made his base state so much stronger than his serious state from back on Earth. We know this because Cosmic Garo was able to tank a serious punch often, or at least keep on moving after it. But Saitama instantly one-shots Garo with his new base level. Okay, is Saitama the strongest anime character ever created? ABD, can you answer that question for me, please?
I don't think so, pal.
So I know what you're probably thinking. A lot of you love, and I mean love, to mention Saitama vs Goku.
My God, I can't get a break from it. Every single comment in my videos I see, Saitama vs Goku, Saitama slaps Goku, Saitama could one-shot the entire DBZ verse. Alright, he can get Hakai, then it'll be over.
Now I want to state right now that we are not a power scaling channel, nor will we ever be.
Facts, I'm not a power scaling channel. I just talk about this shit because you guys keep talking about this shit. So I'm gonna talk about it.
This is just our opinion and not a fact. And I
Thank you.
know giving an opinion out on the internet results in things like this. And you might hate us after this. Okay. According to One Punch Man's logic, Saitama's limitless power also lets him warp reality, as it affects the cosmos just like Blast and Garo mentioned. Saitama has limitless power, limitless defense, limitless speed, and his ability adapts to the opponent's strength and outdoes it, even if they are stronger than him or matching it. His ability is very similar to Broly if we think about it in the Dragon Ball verse.
Did I not say that? Did I not say that early in the video? Somebody timestamped where I said he sounds like a Broly, like a smaller Broly. Broly's strong as fuck, bro. Like, good lord.
Broly, in the span of a movie, faced up against Blue Gogeta. Across multiple fights, he scaled higher and higher to eventually make Goku and Vegeta use everything they had. Saitama's fight with Goku would look very similar in the beginning, but eventually, according to One Punch Man's logic, he will leave his opponent behind and his limit.
Now hold on, right? Now, if we're going off that, you gotta use Dragon Ball's logic too, right? It's only fair. It's only fair. We gotta use both logics. You can't just use one and be like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be over this, right? No, it doesn't make sense. Here's my conclusion, right? Because I know what he's about to say. Here's my conclusion. The fight will end in a draw. It will end in a draw. Because, honestly speaking, Saitama made up moves as he went by. Right? Cool. He's Broly. He's gonna catch up. If Goku is stronger at the start, he's gonna catch up. Right? Now that all boils down to, okay, are we gonna kill Saitama or are we not gonna kill Saitama? Because I feel like a sparring match will be crazy between the both of them. Right? But at the end, I gotta rock with this man Goku because he's done more. That's how I see it. If I'm using Dragon Ball's logic, even with Saitama's logic, even with One Punch logic, I gotta rock with the one who got the better. That's like saying, oh, One Punch Man, after a while, could beat Thor. No, he will never beat Thor. After a while, he could beat Superman. No, he will never beat Superman. Superman will work him, bro. Thor will work him. Hulk will work him. All those characters will work him. They just have better feats. It doesn't matter what he got. That's cool. And I still pick Broly over Saitama too.
Limitlessness cannot be scaled anymore. You guys should.
That's in his show. In my personal opinion, right? My opinion. In his show, he could do all of this. But then once you apply other versus rules, his rule is not going to matter as much. That's how I'm seeing it. You can't, I'm the same way. Before y'all start calling me a Dragon Ball tar, I'm the same way with Dragon Ball. If you use somebody who's way stronger than anybody in Dragon Ball, you could use both rules, but sometimes the stronger verse will just dick slap them, bro. That's just how it works. And I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, and it took me a while to accept that. That's just how it is.
You know by now that we are huge fans of both series.
Yeah.
I've been following Dragon Ball since the 90s and I'm still making
90s?
content on it 30 years later. I'm 30 years old, I'm an old guy, bruh. But if we are using simple logic, we can argue that Goku also has exponential growth ability, just like Saitama. On the other hand, the difference is that Goku, to unlock his new limit, has to face defeat and actually be beaten. In the Z series, this would give Goku a huge growth after recovery due to his Zenkai boost.
That's a fact, right? But I'm saying, because Saitama is still weaker than him, and I know his growth is crazy. That's just with Garo. That's just with Garo. Garo, if you was to have Garo try to fight Goku, Goku will win. Easily, actually. Very easily. But with Saitama, I get it, it's a completely different ball game. Because he has crazy growth. He has crazy, insane growth. And I get that. He's almost like Broly in a sense. But on top of Broly's insane growth, he's going to stack that with his Zenkai boost. So that's how all Saiyans operate. Right? For example, remember when Goku Black, he kept abusing, he lost on purpose to abuse Goku Saiyan cells, right? Cool. Abuse the Zenkai boost. That's what he kept doing. That's every single Saiyan. You beat me once to bring up death, I either unlock a new transformation or I unlock a Zenkai boost. Simple. Now, if they had a bunch of sensu beans, right, and Saitama somehow was working Goku, all Goku got to do is take that L, get a sensu bean, and come right back. Just say.
Later, Goku would figure out a new technique or transformation which allows him to overcome his previous challenges. Now, even if we take into account the recent events of the Dragon Ball Super manga and
Now my thing is this, because they have way stronger opponents in Dragon Ball Super, especially in the manga. How is Saitama going to deal with all of that though? That's what I want to know. Because his growth could be, his growth is insane. I get that. But how would he deal with people like this in his verse?
in its latest chapter, Goku unlocked a Saiyan version of Ultra Instinct mid-fight against Gas. He became slightly stronger than him, and this is supposedly the person that is the strongest mortal person in the universe. However, Goku still ends up defeated because the opponent Gas became slightly stronger, which is
If you shop on Amazon, you should use this tool. It's a browser extension that
exactly
right? But here's the thing, it wasn't a slight strength increase, it was a massive boost in power. Old Gas, right here, as we see, clearly started playing around, toying around with this new Saiyan-like transformation of Ultra Instinct, right? We all seen him. He was toying around with him. So that was a massive power boost. But you know, the strongest in the universe, it kept switching. It went from Goku and Vegeta to Granola to Gas, back to Gas, then Goku, then Vegeta, then back to Granola, then back to, Gas. So it's like it kept switching. So this is probably his limit. After this, it's gonna be his limit. Well, actually, no. I remember they shot him in space. He's down. He's out. Granola they want to get to him, right? Yeah, yeah, he gone.
Exactly what Saitama would be doing against Goku due to his limitless. As we see from the graph depicted in chapter 168, Saitama will never be in a position where he is actually losing. His growth in mid-fight will infinitely increase until his opponent is at their limit, or their speed of growth is slower than Saitama. The only reason Saitama doesn't instantly blow up an entire galaxy is due to his physiological restraints. He's a human with human body type, and he has arms and legs and a bald head. You get the point.
Okay.
Now again, let's use simple logic. Some fans would argue Goku's base and transformations are so powerful that his first punch would kill Saitama instantly. So
Wait,
his
hold on.
ability...
Hold on. Let's start. Wait. Actually, hold on. His base is really strong. He's universal in base. But the reason why you don't see him blow up everything or the universe is because he has restrictions too. He put restrictions on himself. He restrains himself. We all know that. So the same thing, like, Saitama's gonna have to work to get Goku to transform. That's what I'm saying.
of exponential growth wouldn't even activate or exist against Goku. But the argument against that is in chapter 166. Garo copied Saitama's power level with the Serious Punch squared, right? This is the first time ever that this has happened in One Punch Man, where someone has put that much force and power against Saitama in history. He would...
Now, I get that. And my argument to that is God Goku from like 8-9 years ago, when he first got Super Saiyan God, right? His embarrassed punch almost obliterated the universe. Their punch, all it did was, make a little hole in space or some shit like that, like a hole or something, or killed a few stars or something. Now, a few stars versus the entire universe. A few stars, let's say a few stars. The entirety of the universe almost went away. And then Whis would have to tap his staff to reverse time from that even happening. That's my argument to that. Let's not forget that.
Was facing a punch that could blow up an entire galaxy that it did in chapter 167, blowing up all those stars and galaxies millions of light years away. Yet still, Saitama tanked it and didn't take any damage or...
Wait, hold on. No, you're not gonna do that. Didn't Blast redirect it? That's why you have this screenshot right here, right? Hold on. That screenshot right there, right? That's the force of their punch, right? Didn't Blast redirect it somewhere and cause a little hole? Now, let's say it blew up a few galaxies. Let's say it actually did do that, because it didn't confirm that it did, right? There was no a few thousand galaxies was destroyed, right? It didn't confirm that. So let's say if it did, right? What's a few thousand galaxies to the entirety of the universe? That's all I want to know. What is a few thousand galaxies to the entirety of a universe? How many galaxies are in the universe?
up all those stars and galaxies millions of light years away, yet still Saitama tanked it and didn't take any damage or bleed at all. This means
the same thing occurred when Beerus and Goku punched each other and nearly destroyed the universe. I gotta pull up the screenshot? I'll pull up the screenshot. Boop! The same thing happened, but theirs was different. It was much stronger.
Know for a fact that Saitama can tank a punch from Goku in his Super Saiyan God.
No, he cannot. This is universal, right? From the first couple episodes of Dragon Ball Super. You blew away a few thousand galaxies that weren't confirmed by anybody. My thing is this. If you're gonna use something, be 100%. Include both. We know what he could do. Let's say he did blow away a few thousand stars. We don't know if he blew away a few thousand galaxies. That was not confirmed by anybody. Right? Let's keep it 100. This man right here almost destroyed the universe with a punch based off Beerus. So basically, he nearly destroyed the universe with a punch. Literally, with a punch. Same thing, but his was on a higher scale. What?
Form. And even Blue, Goku vs Beerus mentioned that their punches made a blast that was going to destroy the universe with raw power. Yet Saitama's punches towards the end of 168 could do the same. Yet he tanks.
No, it doesn't. Because he's not going to keep hitting him with the exact same force to blow away a galaxy. No. What the fuck, bro? Oh my god. God, my head.
Them and takes no damage. In the end, Saitama only has to tank one punch from Goku for his ability of limitless to activate, and then it will automatically surpass Goku's power. If Goku went straight to Ultra Instinct 100% mode and 100% power, which he usually doesn't do by the way because he likes to fight and play around, starting with Super Saiyan and normal form, but let's say he went straight to 100%. It's up to you to decide in the comment section below and let the war begin if Goku.
Let the war begin, because I've been running this war on my channel for like the last 2 years or so. We're gonna keep talking about this, cause no.
Can straight up one-shot Saitama before his ability activates, or there's no way Saitama can tank it and it's game over. Now if you don't want to take part in this war, watch this One Punch Man video about the character named God that Saitama will have to face.
Yeah, we're gonna start a war. 30, almost 40. Good lord, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get that off my chest. Anyways, your boy Sue. It's the only video I'm dropping today. Peace. Let the war start. Let the war start. Let the war begin. We out.